It was a wilderness camp that is a part of the school system. 5th and 6th graders stay Friday evening until Monday morning. The school board has high schoolers volunteer as a part of community service to be camp assistants, or teacher assistants that are assigned to a group of kids, usually one TA to 6 to 8 kids. The TA leads the kids and stays with them overnight each night during the trip. I volunteered both during my junior and senior year, loved the role, and it got me away from my family for a weekend. My senior year outing I got lucky, and there was a weird situation with a number of kids and TAs, where a buddy and I got paired to lead a cabin together, and the cabin only had 5 kids. 2 were out sick right before the trip. On the first night we had something hitting our walls, figured some kids were playing a prank. It went on and off for an hour or so around 1 a.m. I told the kids to ignore it, and we'll tell the camp leads in the morning about the pranksters. The next night the same thing, around 1 a.m. pounding on the cabin walls on and off for an hour straight. My buddy and I started getting sick of it due to the leads shrugging off our report earlier. Our cabin sat at the end of the row, near a large field used for sports activities, so we figured that's why they were pranking us, since it would be easy to run away towards the other cabins, or into the field under the cover of darkness. We talked it over, and agreed that we would both burst through the door the next time we heard thumping on the walls and catch the kids doing this pounding noise. We waited for probably 10 or so minutes, and sure enough, pounding on the far wall from the door. We both got up and quickly got our shoes on and threw the door open and circled the cabin to find nothing there. This night was clear and the moonlight was actually bright enough to kind of see. We looked around and my buddy saw someone in the probably 30 feet or so away in the field with their back to us, crouching like they were trying to pretend they weren't there. Caught the little shite finally, I thought to myself. I yelled out, "We see you, kiddo. Get over here and explain why you've been pranking us." No response, so we call out again to no avail. We started making our way towards the kid when, after halving the distance, the kid stood up. Only it's not a child, it's a fully grown, must been 6'3", 6'4", taller than both of us. A chill ran down my spine as we froze in fear. The man turned his head back towards us. He had long hair and a beard. Both looked unkempt. We stared at one another for a few seconds in silence. He started chuckling, which turned into laughter as we backed away from him. I saw that he had a claw hammer in his hand. My buddy yelled for me to run as he started coming after us. We barely made it back to the cabin and shut the door as we heard the hammer strike the door. We bolted the door shut. The kids in our cabin were crying at this point. We pushed our 2 beds in front of the door as a barricade in case he got through. Told the kids to get under their beds, close their eyes, and cover their ears. I shouted at the man, telling him to fuck off, my voice shaking. My buddy grabbed his bat he brought with him, that he used to play baseball with the kids earlier, and raised it ready to hit the attacker. With each hit on the door, it moved far more than I was comfortable with seeing. It felt like an eternity that he was hitting the door, laughing maniacally as he did, shouting profanities at us. "Open the fuck up, I wanna play," and "A cabin full of dead kids right here" are the only ones I remember vividly. After what in reality was 7 minutes of this, a shot rang out in the distance, and the man stopped hitting the door almost immediately. After a minute or so, a knock at the door happened. It was the groundskeeper who lived at the camp as its caretaker. He was holding a pump-action shotgun. He said the guy ran off into the forest after he shot into the air. 2 of the kids wet themselves. Not that I blamed them. I was shaking like a leaf due to fear and adrenaline. The cops came after 10 or so minutes and asked some questions, looked around for a while. The trip ended after that, the 7 of us. My buddy, the 5 kids, and I rode back home in cop cars. Apparently on the way back, all the kids on the bus were asking the teachers nonstop what happened, not being told what transpired only 20 to 30 feet away from their cabins that night. The next day, the police informed us that they couldn't find anyone match our description in the area, but they would be stationed in the area for a while in case he came back. Never did hear about him again. Never want to, honestly. The camp is still running today, much tighter security now apparently. The kids graduated in 2020, still in contact with them to this day. Each of them still remember the nightmare that unfolded that night, 9 years ago. None of us have gone camping ever since that night, probably never will. Funny that it was humanity that was the scariest thing out there in the woods, not any wolf, mountain lion, or bear. It was a camping trip in Oregon during the summer of 1994. This was a large group comprised of family and friends. I can remember at least 8 of us being there, but there could have been a couple others. It's not important because the key events involved only 2 of us. It was myself and Paul, a friend who is a year younger. We were between the ages 15 and 17. There was a stream nearby, but it was 25 feet down a steep bank. Paul and I had spent the first day gathering wood and exploring the area around the main camp. Because we were teenagers, and we both considered ourselves to be tough and independent guys, we decided to set up our tent as far from the main group as possible. In reality, it was only about 100 yards away, but with the trees we were nearly out of sight from them, and all we could see was their campfire at night. Also, the creek was quite loud, and made it so that our tent and the main camp were not in hearing distance. The tent we set up was an old canvas army tent that had a pole in the middle. The important events happened that first night. Paul and I stayed with the main group after the sun went down, enjoying the campfire and laughter. Since we had no fire of our own, the surrounding woods were pitch black where our tent was. You needed a flashlight to walk around and not trip over something. Since we were about to call it a night, we decided to go pee at the same time. Using my flashlight, we walked towards the creek, and we each picked a spot about 10 feet apart. The trees opened up a lot in this area, and I was surprised that I could see the water below after I had put my flashlight into my sweatshirt pocket. After we both were done, we just stood there for a minute looking at the water. We were talking, but I can't remember what about. I thought I'd try and prank my friend. So I said, "Paul, there's something over there." "Where?" he asked. So I grabbed my flashlight and shine it on the path to my left. Suddenly, about 30 yards away, there are these 2 glowing eyes looking right at us. We couldn't see anything else, just those 2 glowing eyes. It seemed as though they were about the height of a large dog. Whatever it wasn't moving. Just watching. Now, when I shined my light, I wasn't expecting to see anything at all. This was a joke after all. That being the case, I wasn't thinking about what it could be. I just blurted out, "Oh my God, there is something there," and we both ran to the tent. That in itself would have made this a memorable trip, but there is a little more to this story. We were both a little freaked out, but we felt safe in the tent. We talked about what it could be, and at the time we settled on coyote, but I have since changed my mind. I believe it was a cougar for a number of reasons that I won't get into. Of course, I can never know for sure. Now we had zipped ourselves into our sleeping bags, and the excitement had almost completely dissipated. And suddenly we hear something big moving towards us. It was coming from the opposite direction of the glowing eyes and our other campers. When I say something big, I mean heavy. It seemed to be stomping the ground as it walked. The noise was scary loud, and it quickly came from the distance to being right outside our tent. As soon as we both heard it approach, we instantly quit talking and listened with every fiber of our existence. We were listening with our eyes blinded by the dark, with our skin from the vibrations on the ground, and with our ears that were the only way of knowing exactly where this big heavy creature was. When it came up to our tent, it stopped and got quiet for what seemed like an eternity. The only sound was 1 or 2 deep exhales. I was both excited and scared, and my teenage mind was just sure a bear was going to come crashing through the walls of our canvas tent. After several seconds, it stomped all the way around our tent, all 4 sides, and without stopping again, it traipsed off into the woods going uphill in the opposite direction of the creek. These two events took place within 30 minutes of each other. I can't explain the big creature. My only theory is that a large bull elk was moving through the area. I don't know why it was traveling in the dark around what I think must have been 10 p.m. I don't know why it was stomping its foot. And I don't know why it circled our tent.